Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's. All things summer, all at the right price.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 16, episode number 3,523. Wow. 23. Hey.
Just worked on it today.
Jesus Christ. Did they really? Along with Steve the Thrill Hill.
Give it a second. Jesus Christ.
Is this what today's going to be? The Thrill Hill. Ding! The Ted Smith. And my cock. Montgomery. And you are in the Men's Room. Watch out today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack. Drangity drum.
All right, here we go. Oklahoma mom learns it's a bad idea to invite Bigfoot to a kid's birthday party. Bigfoot. It's not going to be good. Pennsylvania man wearing nothing but underwear breaks into home and threatens to party. I was supposed to rhyme with party. Man who threatened to blow McDonald's over dipping sauces has his day in court. Speaking of, man sets up tattoo parlor in McDonald's while working on someone way too short. And a handcuffed man, he hijacks an ATV before leading police on a wild chase. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, after decades of neglect and indifference, restaurants and retailers are now offering up decency in a desperate attempt to find people willing to work for them. A few examples include Chipotle. They're raising hourly wages. McDonald's, they're raising hourly wages. CVS Pharmacy will raise their pay from $11 an hour to $15 an hour over the next year. Target, they will offer all of its employees, part-time or full-time, free college education, which is the exact same perk that Walmart announced last week. And the restaurant industry is beginning to offer employees this little thing called health insurance. Now, I worked as a cook for 12 years, and, you work with knives and fire. Never heard of such a thing like insurance. In fact, the best perk in the restaurant industry during my time, and I'm not kidding, unfettered access to cocaine. I mean, it just rained out of the sky, man. But that was your best perk. Now that I'm fortunate enough to have insurance and a 401k, the best perk I've got, really, opportunity to meet cool musicians, actors, comedians, hang out backstage, all the other things that you really wanted to do when you were 15. And being that we still have the minds of 15-year-olds, that works out perfectly for us. But I digress. Here's the thing. Every job, even the crappy ones that you hate, they offer some kind of upside, even if the bosses are unaware of it. Ted, you worked as a janitor. You also learned how to play Tonk. Am I right?
Correct.
You love the game.
It is great.
You enjoyed playing it with those guys. Look, it's not part of the job, but it was one of the perks. You guys did it, what, every night, basically?
Yeah, break room.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're saying. So, look, if, like, you were a lifeguard, certainly not the best one, you got fired, but still...
True.
How often did you get to ogle the really hot chicks hanging out at the pool?
Always.
Exactly. It's not part of the job description, but it's one of the perks. And that's what we want to talk about today with your answer to this question. Legal or not, what is the best perk of any job you've ever had?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or a classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
I'm Glennon Doyle, author of Untamed and host of the podcast We Can Do Hard Things. Each week, we talk openly and honestly about the hard things in life together with you. So join us and some of our dearest friends and greatest heroes to talk about anxiety, boundaries, parenting, infidelity, our bodies, loving and losing, all of the things that make us human. Listen to and follow We Can Do Hard Things on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.
Dig your vinyl, man.
My budget doesn't. Calling time on collecting.
Don't give it up. State Farm has options to get you a surprisingly great rate.
Rock on.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Back to the conversation. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the fellas, and away we go. Welcome to season 16, episode number 3,523. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Sans explosion. Oh, there it is. Wow, they're just all firing off. That thing is going to just take a crap on us. He's got this box in front of him that he hits all the sound effects on his end. I've got a box that's fortunately still working on mine.
I just hit a monkey.
And
I just hit the monkey.
What's the delay? Okay, so
there
the delay
it is.
And then it hit some other stuff.
Wait.
So
Let me hit one more because right now it keeps repeating everything I've hit.
It's going to be a very large.
I just hit the dog.
program.
Hit the dog. Come on. Come on.
All right.
And it went to monkey. And Caruso. Okay.
Okay.
Be that kind of day.
Well, it's going to feature the exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Stephen Thrill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck, but it's up to us. It's probably pretty hard for you to find those. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm just going to go off the Why don't you start hitting random buttons throughout the show? Who cares?
Because it'll happen at any time.
Yeah. Shockingly enough, you find 3 stories from the news every week that suck. And then we have to figure out which of the 3 stories suck.
Focus files.
Yeah, what's the list of stories looking like today?
All about people biting things. Okay. Jesus Christ.
That just came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yep.
Is it just doing whatever it wants?
Watch, I hit a button. I hit applause, all right?
The applause works.
My God, it did not. This is going to be a fun day. There you go.
And it stopped. Good. All right.
Yes. Who Sucks Less is coming up. And today on our Men's Room Happy Hour, the more Men's Room, so to speak, every Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock, we go off of these airways and go right to the Odyssey app for the Men's Room Happy Hour. And if you're looking for it, once you download that Odyssey app for free, either at the App Store or Google Play, favorite that bad boy, search for the Men's Room, and you will see the Men's Room Happy Hour. And that's where you can listen to us at 6 o'clock, right when we get off the air. Allows us to to be quite frank, to cuss on the air.
Yeah.
But we're not on the air.
Kind of like I want to right now.
It doesn't really matter. But today, the exciting return of the inappropriate question. And man, oh man, do we have some inappropriate questions for our panel of experts to answer today.
You guys will love them.
They are really, really good. Would you like for me to give you an example of just one inappropriate question? Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right, Mike. This one's for you.
All right.
Okay. Hit me. What sexual activity do you consider totally off limits for you? Just won't do it.
You can think on it and answer later.
But let me stew on that one here.
That's what we do with the Benzer Matthew.
Just in general?
I mean, the one thing that maybe you don't feel like that's your... Hey, a lot of people, it's like food. You like certain things, you don't like certain things. I mean, you like certain TV shows, some shows you don't like.
Right. But some you'll tolerate because the person you're with really wants to see that TV
like
show.
Some sports, other sports, whatever, take it or leave it.
For me, only one person does the inserting.
Okay.
So
That's a way to phrase that.
What if you had
so she has a strap on?
What if you had to give yourself a you know what I mean, like one of those pills that you jam up your butt?
A suppository.
If this is for sex, I'm not doing it.
Okay, all right.
Like if I just have medications, all right, yeah, but that's me that's doing that.
So exit only.
Correct.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah, okay. All right, more of that coming up with the Menzer Map Yard. Did you just hit another button?
I did. I just want to see how long it takes.
It's going to take.
Somebody here says I'm going to start a GoFundMe to get the men's room a new sound effects box. I appreciate that.
And it just went off on its own. All right.
I mean, that applause kind of timed, right?
Let me see if that works.
Except for the wah.
All right, so the applause works. And when I hit that one, it'll clap for itself. I just hit screen.
That works a little bit.
All right.
Okay.
I like it when it was just going through every button you had pushed.
I know.
Did you not say, Mike, that you tried to take a look at that bad boy today? Does that mean that you unplugged it and turned it back on?
Oh, no, I called a professional. I brought Chaz in here.
Chaz looked at it.
What did he say?
And,
he said, this box is 20 years old.
It's older than that. It's older than that. I guarantee it's older than that.
Came out, 96?
I mean, yeah, I was working on one of those things like 94, 95, so I know for a fact that thing is...
Do they not make them anymore?
I don't know if they service them anymore.
They do, but it's like finding a Sony Walkman. I mean, nobody wants them.
There's a handful of things that we're gonna try to see if we can fix this issue.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to our question. As we'll start with this story, as this is some good news. Target will offer its 340,000 U.S.-based part-time and full-time employees a new perk, and that would be a free college education.
Damn.
They announced that they would offer its workers the most comprehensive debt-free education assistance program available in the retail industry. Program starts this fall and provides debt-free undergraduate degrees, certificates, certifications, free textbooks, and more with no out-of-pocket costs in 250 business-aligned programs for more than 40 schools, colleges, and universities across the country. So some of those include the University of Arizona, Oregon State University, University of Denver, Cornell, which is kind of like going to an Ivy League school.
What is electronic?
But you're on the computer doing it as well. Morehouse College, Paul Quinn College, a couple of different historically black colleges are included in here. Just a number of...
Other than Morehouse?
You just need to look and see where you
Cornell is historically white, so they also included...
Cornell. Instead of a Dr. Cornell. All right. Yeah.
You know what? You're right. After Cornell West.
That's right. Yeah.
Pretty prominent.
We're still rocking that Frederick Douglass hairstyle. The announcement comes a week after.
It's like, brother,
come on,
man, I appreciate what you're doing, but God damn it.
You and Ed Reed, what's happening here? Feel like I'm watching Roots. The announcement comes a week after Walmart, the largest private employer in the company, said it would pay for college tuition and books for its part-time and full-time associates. The move comes as many businesses say they're struggling to find just any kind of workers in general, in this case, retail workers. Experts say workers have not returned to work amid the coronavirus pandemic for multiple reasons, including some who are concerned over COVID-19, childcare, and a whole lot more. Target says it will support workers taking courses for high school completion, college prep, English language and learning, select certificates. Also, Target announced that they will, if you do not have a high school education, that you will now be eligible to seek employment. They would encourage you to, and they will help you if you want to get your GED.
That was CVS, I think.
And CVS did that as well.
Yeah. So believe it or not, so CVS, and again, everyone's trying to fill all of these available spots. So CVS, whether you knew it or not, you had to at least have a high school diploma to get a job there. They've gotten rid of that.
And as far as Target, They gave the full-time and part-time workers who are in their distribution centers and in their stores and in their contact centers $200 recognition bonus. Just throw them a check for $200. So pretty nice perk of the job. Oh God, here we go.
I'm doing an on and off thing.
All right, okay. So today our question, legal or not, what is the best perk of any job that you have ever had? 206-421-ROCK.
And this person, they say, look, not my job, but my wife works at the emergency veterinarian hospital, and we get highly discounted and occasionally free pet care and food. Easily has saved us thousands of dollars over the years.
Easily. And that's one thing, man.
Always have a pet then.
A lot of people got a pet over the pandemic, and I'm telling you,
a lot of people are taking them back.
There is, yes, they are. There's no better thing that you can buy from your pet when you bring them home than pet care, pet insurance. That is one thing.
I don't know if I have pet insurance.
As soon as you, and here's
here's
the news.
No, the animal, look, you're probably right. I'm not going to argue that, but let's face it. The animals that you choose to bring home have what we would call in the human world pre-existing conditions.
They do.
Like you go out of your way like, hey, I'm looking for any pet that has 3 legs, 1 eye, and has had a severe accident within the last 3 weeks. That's the one Miles
We
wants.
all know how insurance works. Insurance works this way. If I were to be proactive, get a pet, and then go out and get pet insurance, that would be the healthiest animal I'd ever had. That animal would go a decade, 10 years without any problems whatsoever. I would even use that insurance. I pay for it. I'd never use it. If I did not get it, 6 weeks after I got the dog or the cat, damn thing would start going downhill faster than anything. So
is that why you get animals that are already at the bottom of the, like your animals don't go downhill. They're already at the bottom of the hill. Have you ever in your adult life
I don't
just brought home a pet that initially was healthy when they gave it to you?
Sunshine.
And then she left your ass.
Yes, she did. Yeah, she ran away.
Miles.
He had both of his knees replaced. That was $2,500 a knee.
But I thought when you, initially he seemed all right. Whereas, the last few animals, Thrill's right. They're already at the bottom.
Miles, the dog's problem was he was mentally not capable.
Right. I was going to say, physically, the dog was fine. There's something wrong.
Yeah, this is a dog that drools. I mean, and drools.
This is a kid that sat in the back of the classroom because the teacher has given up any inclination that you can help.
This dog would be wearing Coke bottle glasses. This dog is that dog, man. I'm telling you what. As bright as he was, I mean, just absolutely a moron. That was a dog that got caught in the riptide that one time. I was like, oh my God, what are we doing? I'm gonna die. Legal or not, what's the best perk of any job you've ever had? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Steve. Welcome to the men's room.
What's up, bitches?
Hola.
Hola. Well, it's a job I had years ago, but I delivered construction materials, and so I got to work with the general public sometimes because we did new constructions, pre-existing buildings and stuff. And usually it's not a job something I consider a perk. But one day I was delivering some siding material to an apartment complex that they were just getting it re-sided, so they already had residents and stuff, and I'm there delivering the material, and it was a nice, bright, sunny, warm day like this, and one of the residents shows up, and she gets out of her car wearing these tiny shorts, and I'm like, oh, so she kind of catches my eye, and I'm like, okay, she's quite attractive, and she kind of looks at me, she walks by the truck, and then next thing I know, she comes outside, and we get to talking, and next thing I know, I'm in her living room, and we're making out. And so I ended up getting laid while on the job.
Get out of here.
All right.
That's pretty strong.
Get serious.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No. I've never had that perk at work.
No. Well, I kind of did one.
I had always tried to figure out as a kid how I could get laid and get paid for it. Well, that day I figured it out.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's not one that happens. That's a once-in-your-lifetime thing, maybe.
Generally speaking.
Definitely.
I mean, especially for a guy. You know what I mean? We don't hold the keys to that car. You know what I mean?
No, we really don't.
We just,
we're always hitchhiking, but rarely do we get picked up.
Every once in a while. Yeah. I mean, maybe you'll get a ride once, but I mean, for the most part, we're not driving that vehicle, so we don't have any control over it.
That's why you have Christmas parties.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Oh, did I say the words out of your mouth?
I mean, literally, that's how they call it a Christmas or a holiday party.
But those are people that you work with. So in this case, at least you didn't have to work with them.
Right, he had a client.
All right, that's true.
And on the other end of it, you know what I mean? Like, the party is not like actually being on the job. That's an optional thing. You know what I mean? I'm trying to...
It is.
I mean...
But it's just...
I feel like bartenders probably pull that off more than anybody.
As much as they want to,
but you got to remember, they're busy. So to get that break and to be able to, you know what I mean?
They might not do it during the shift, but look, man.
It might lead to something.
Yes,
but
it will.
he's saying he got paid.
Right.
Sex, which means that, like...
I have been at a table with a group of people. Somebody found the waiter very attractive.
And just shagged him?
Yeah.
At the restaurant?
Yeah.
While you were there?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
No, but here's my only problem. Like, look, I got no problem with you having sex with the waiter. Like, if he's down, then go have a good time. But before you do, can we get 2 more rounds of drinks and another appetizer? Because I don't know how long you're going to be gone.
How long were they gone for?
It wasn't any long time. It was just a few minutes.
Okay.
Huh.
And was it your waiter, like the one at your table?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, dude, come on, man. I mean, just get me another beer before you go, because I don't know how long you're going to be there.
How quick was this spark between these two?
Yeah, how long had you been at the
she
table?
was hitting on him from the moment we got there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And just said, here, we got to go?
Yeah.
I mean, how do they work this out? Because obviously there's a group of you at the table. So, I mean, are they trying to be subtle, or are they straight up like, yo,
She was not subtle at all. Like, he was younger, the waiter.
Mm-hmm.
She kept making jokes. Other people at the table kept making jokes. And then eventually it was like, all right. He was kind of like, all right.
Want a discount?
Right.
Okay, all right.
Want a free round of
Do we
drinks?
know this person?
I don't know.
Okay. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Seriously.
I'd also have to remember the person's name.
Oh, okay.
Well, that doesn't, yeah.
I could see this person. But I'm like, what the hell was
They're getting it done. Legal or not, what's the best perk for any job that you've ever had? 206-421-ROCK.
Like this one, it says, shift manager at a fast food restaurant. I might or might not have been doing a side hustle selling some herbs. Dude, I assume everyone that works at a fast food joint can hook me up with drugs. My buddy Leon worked at McDonald's for like 1,000 years, right? And the other thing he did was sell drugs.
But with the legalization of marijuana, maybe not as prevalent as far as that drug is concerned.
Right. Maybe not that drug now. Right. But Leon was not just selling weed. He had some other options. And the whole thing was, he's like, look, I work at McDonald's. It's his base of operation. But a lot of the cats that went to McDonald's, they go in and order food as well. But they specifically want to see Leon. So they get like a bag of Coke, half ounce of weed.
And a medium Coke.
A medium Coke, 2 cheeseburgers. You know what I mean? And it was great business.
Yeah, dude, I worked with guys, like when I worked at Door in Georgetown, right? Because all the students are Georgetown's a nice section of D.C. where the university is.
Yeah.
But same thing. Like we were door guys, but every once in a while I'd be like, what is going on? And he's like, well, I started selling weed to him, and then all these rich college kids were like, can you get more stuff for me? So then he kind of became a wholesaler, if you will.
Oh, there's a lot of, I don't know about Seattle because I live here, but certainly when I go on vacation and you talk to the concierge of pretty much any hotel you go into, I will say Miami in particular, South Beach, actually, but we checked that the hotel was particularly expensive, so 2 couples went in on this just to rent a room for the night to say we've been there, all right? And we check in, and they're very professional, and everyone there is wearing a suit, and they do this thing, and as we're going up to the room, the concierge kind of steps in front of me. I guess I look like the obvious guy. And he said, Mr. Hill, enjoy your room, blah, blah, blah. So now everyone's kind of walking away from me, getting on the elevator. And he says, if there's anything you need, you let me know. And I kind of look at him. And he winks at me and says, anything you need. I said, you know what I want. He goes, I think I do. So anyway, he arranged it, showed up. It was in my room.
Yep.
Yeah. I said, look, don't.
Right beside the little swan they made out of one of the towels in the middle of the bed.
Oh, yeah. But sure, like we went to the pool or something for like 2 hours. I came back and perhaps my drug request, without me ever saying my drug request, had been made. And then I gave him the money later. And it was all hush hush. Yeah. But this dude was so professional. I mean, the guy, he sounded like he should have been a butler for Sherlock frickin' Holmes or something.
Miami's different.
Dude, I mean, honestly, I don't care. You can be an 85-year-old woman on a cane and they're still like, hey, if you want cocaine, you let us know because I'll get it for you. And they have it delivered to the hotel.
I was like, I literally had one guy, he's like, I am sorry, Mr. Smith. We can't locate marijuana. Is there anything else?
Were you in Miami?
Yeah.
This was a concierge, right?
Right. And he was like, I can get you other stuff. I was like, no, it's fine. Don't sweat it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they're very good. I know how it sounds.
But he would have tried if he knew he could.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's just none there.
He literally was like, I'm calling my stepdad because he's actually from the state of Washington.
Oh. He can help you get it.
Now, that said, one of the outer requests...
That hotel's also closed now, so maybe they were a little too friendly.
I think one of the outer requests that we as a show had, this was many moons ago, but one of the pains in the grasses, if you will, is maybe, 2 or 3 days out. And all these different bands were coming in. And the boss reached out to us to say, hey, there's a couple of bands coming in, and these are not their official riders, but these are things that they would like. And I feel like perhaps you guys might be the conduit to getting some of these things. They're just like, what do they want? And I want to get like 85% of what they needed. You roll in, you go backstage. I mean, I know it's again, you walk into the little trailer camper thing, like, you guys are so-and-so. Yeah, hey, man, we got this, and this. Like, oh, thanks, man. You know, seriously.
Make up the, just drop it off. And
off you go. And they treat you real well after that. I will not say who was looking for what, but some bands surprised me. I'm like, really? They're into that? Okay.
Whatever you need.
I can do that.
They seem pretty mellow, though.
I know.
Legal or not, what's the best perk of any job that you've ever had? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Brandon. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hola!
My favorite, so I own and operate Drain Masters Plumbing, so it's just a self-employed plumber out in Mason County, and I love it because it's kind of a country area, and all the older ladies always feed me after I'm done working. That's got to be my favorite part. That and taking a vacation, whatever I want, and not having a boss.
They feed you when you're done?
Fantastic out there.
Like, what percentage of the time did you get fed after a hard day's work?
I got fed 2 days ago. I'd say probably 25%.
Okay,
that's awesome.
I believe great. I believe that. I just had my father in town with his girlfriend. They were here for a week. It was lovely. Every time I came home, the first question, no matter what, I could go down to the store to get a pack of cigarettes and come back in the house. The first thing they asked me is, would I like this item to eat?
Right.
It was nonstop. It was like, we made banana bread. Would you like a piece of banana bread? There's a biscuit in there from this morning. There's just like, I'm not hungry. Like, and I'm not hungry just means to them, you didn't want that one particular item. They're going to move on to the next item.
Right.
Well, I'm not hungry. You know what I mean? Like,
then how about this?
I'm not hungry. You know, like all those are food items that you just keep rattling off.
Right.
Like, what did I'm not hungry mean? But I mean, I swear to God, every time I came back in the house, you want this? We made this. Would you like this? And I'm just like, we bought candy bars. We bought this. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, it was just, it was a nonstop.
Do you ever have people use you as an excuse to cook something?
What do you mean?
So like my buddy DB and his wife is awesome.
All right.
But probably every other year, I go and spend a couple nights with them. And in the morning, she makes biscuits and gravy. They're delicious, right? She hand makes everything. I'm not the biggest biscuits and gravy fan, but finally this past summer I was like, how often do you eat biscuits and gravy? She goes, about every other year when you show up. I go, why? And she goes, I don't know. She goes, I just got it in my head that you seem like a guy because you and Dan drink the night before would like biscuits and gravy. She's like, I never make it. He goes, but I love it. She loves it too.
Well, that's her excuse.
She's like, when you're here, it's a good excuse to make it.
Did you tell her but I'm not the biggest fan of biscuits and gravy. I mean, if you need an excuse, I like lasagna. I mean, sir, you might as well put in a request.
Sure.
If she's going to admit that.
Well, she made banana bread. Same thing.
I know.
She made banana bread too. And Dan's cooking the whole time. And look, I like to eat. But even I was like, hey, thanks, guys. But I'm full.
Right.
I'll tell you when they did give me. They got me in the morning. The next morning, they were toasting slices of the banana bread.
Oh, yeah.
And I started smelling that. I was like, toasted banana bread.
That's how they get
I've
you.
never had that. Put some butter on there. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, Meredith's banana bread might have been the best I ever had.
If you're going to have banana bread, you got to almost put it in the toaster just to try.
I've never done that.
It's unbelievable.
Live a little.
Legal or not, what's the best perk of any job that you've ever had? 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or a classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Love the mochas here.
Too bad my budget doesn't.
Sarah, don't give it up. State Farm has options to get you a surprisingly great rate.
Thanks, Jake. Next round's on me.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
99.9 KISW. The men's room is in progress.
There's a guy named Patrick Lencioni. He's got a book out called The Truth About Employment Engagement. Basically what he does is he consults employers about the perks that it will take to bring in the talent that they're looking for.
Okay. All right.
So it's a little bit different here in the Pacific Northwest as far as what is available based on the competition, and I believe that most of the businesses in this area are already way ahead of that curve and beyond it. But that's why when you walk by some of the offices in South Lake Union, you'll notice some of the perks that the IT and the world has as far as daycare at the location where they work. Google in Fremont, where I live, they have this huge-ass cafeteria, and when things are booming before the pandemic, there was basically a coffee shop in there just for employees with a barista one time. They had a catered lunch area with hot food, sandwiches, all these different things. There was a weight room that you could look into, and just at one point in time, a basketball court. They would do barbecues out on the grass at Adobe and all these different things. And
we have a vending machine.
Well, yeah, and it just depends on what what
when
field
you want your sodas warm and your chips cold.
It depends on what field you're in. I mean, they're competing with Apple, Google, Microsoft, Facebook. All these companies that do all these different things for their employees, which is about some of the thing. Not all of those things, but they are included in this guy's book. So, for an example, health-wise, you either have a gym at work or you have a gym membership reimbursement.
All right. So you're saying in the health industry.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
As far as, standing desks at work, wellness activities that could also be included in that, like yoga or meditation is paid for.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Some employers offer free health trackers, like Fitbits or Apple Watches.
Okay.
Those types of things. Healthy snacks available. So there's fruit and bananas and apples.
Stupid.
And all that stuff.
Dude, my buddy, he doesn't work for this company anymore, but it was awesome. And their kitchen just had bins of little Cliff Bars, little miniature packages of candy. There was all the apples, all the healthy stuff too.
Right.
Yeah.
The stuff you can ignore. Right.
I know a buddy who
free antacids.
I know a buddy who
I'm all over that.
The company had a nutrition specialist and a team.
Jesus Christ.
So 2 or 3 people would come in and they would basically just get an overall, health idea of where you're at. And then from that point in time, they would offer you advice and nutritional advice on what to eat, how to exercise. All
no offense. That seems like a bit much for work.
Well, but it
depends on where it is, too. Because my buddy Will worked at corporate Under Armour for years, and that was the same thing. They had 2 or 3 ex-Navy SEALs that ran workout programs for everybody. And you would go into the kitchen and whatever, obviously, let's take the 4 of us, right? We'd all have different meal plans. But when I walk in, the Ted Smith meal is ready for Ted Smith.
The chicken breast or whatever.
Right.
You need
Wait.
there.
But is this a health-based meal plan, or these are the things I like meal plan?
If you care about your nutrition,
right.
you know what I mean?
I don't.
This is the guide to hey. You can make yourself better, and it obviously helps with medical costs because you're going to pay most of it out of pocket, whether you have goddamn insurance or not. That's a fact. So I mean,
and they were an athletic company, so it helps that your employees are a little more
understood.
Yeah. Flu shots and different things that are available on site. So in other words, instead of going to a place to give blood or get a shot or any of that, those actually come into the office and you're able to donate. As far as family goes, maternity leave, obviously beyond 8 weeks. Some employers offer pet insurance, remote or work from home options, which we know now, on-site daycare, just a bunch of different things. Time off for volunteering within the community, an office environment with you could dress casually if you want, game rooms. There was one point in time where I think one of the more entertaining things, and this was at the old building, and I'm not sure what the deal was or how it got in there. We had a ping pong table. And every once in a while, man, you just, in the afternoon, man, there'd be a ping pong tournament would break out in the room for at least, a good half hour between different employees.
That did occasionally happen, for sure. And people did relax with it. What I remember most is Fridays when we were done with the show, Ted would head over there and Hugh and Marshawn would set up the beer pong table.
Yeah.
And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, that makes it more worthwhile. Sure. It really does.
When we got, when Men's Room Original Red came out, Elysian gifted us a really nice kegerator. And if you've seen any of the videos on Facebook or whatever, occasionally it'll pop up. It used to be in our office. Think about that. We had a keg of beer, ice cold, on tap, in our office at all times. And I mean, it was just we just look at it. And that didn't mean we drank beer all day long or anything like that.
Everybody else did. I mean, look, and they did it in moderation, but you'd walk through the halls, and some of them just have a pint of beer sitting on their desk, and they're working, and their morale was up. So actually, when we changed buildings, this woman, I guess the interior designer for our new office space. I had never met this woman before in my life. Didn't like her as soon as I met her because she was a bitch. But basically, the door to our office open. She does not say hello, nothing. She points at her kegerator and says, well, that's not going. Well, that got me a little fired up. So we started going back and forth.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you, too. What is your name again?
I remember her name. I won't say it. But anyway, we went back and forth, and Hair Club, our boss at the time, was like, whoa, you see, I was getting real hostile. I'm telling you, you can fit it. You're an interior designer. If you can't figure it out, you suck at your job. It's really that simple. Anyway, turns out they got it in here.
Yeah, they did.
And you know what? I haven't had a beer from it since we've been here.
Oh, and she said we had to take everything, and that was kind of the fun. You know, you're in a radio station, you've got all the stuff that
it looked like a radio station.
It looked like a radio station
instead of a place you do autopsies. Jesus Christ!
We had stuff up on the walls. We had our 50 shots in 50 states things up.
That was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. But she came in and went gone.
Do you remember her name? I don't write it down.
I don't want to know her.
No, because it's the exact opposite. She is the opposite of her name.
That was her name.
That was her name.
Oh, no wonder she's so miserable.
And it's like,
oh yeah.
I know one person with that name, and they're miserable.
I mean, it's amazing.
I swear to God.
Like, you can't, it's like naming your kid Hope and then they're depressed all the time. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't her name.
That's honest to God.
I knew a Hope. She was hot.
Or, like, you name your child Faith and she's like, I'm an atheist.
There are no ugly Hopes out there.
I knew a Faith. She was hot. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm in a mood.
Are you in rut?
I might be. It's getting to be that time of the year, right? I got to get all this stuff off my antlers.
Legal or not, what's the best perk of any job that you've ever had? 206-421.
Try another name. Let's see how I react.
Not Becky, but Rebecca.
Yeah, I know some attractive Rebeccas.
Okay, here's one. And
Shauna.
Shauna's hot and she puts out.
Yeah,
what about...
Miles, we do it.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, what do we have?
That's my description.
I know.
How about, Nancy? What about a Nancy?
That's too old.
I had a second cousin that married a Nancy. She was cute.
Okay. Damn.
You know a hot Nancy?
All right, I think we're proving the point. I need to calm down.
Why is Ted rubbing his body on trees? He's in rut.
He's in rut. He does this every year in mid-August.
He even thinks Nancy's are hot. Let's see. A couple comments that came in. Best perk for my job right now, no one is watching me most of the time. So that means I'm buzzed at work constantly. Weed, alcohol, nicotine, vaping. I get away with it. That from a pediatrician. I'm kidding. No, they are not a pediatrician. I can't. Let's see.
Officer Dangle.
Yeah. Someone else here says, I drove a truck for 17 years. A nice perk was any time there was a rejected product, I got to keep it. Anything from candy bars to fruit. Got a half a pallet of Twix bars once. I've not touched them since.
My buddy does loss prevention for a freight company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things where, you do the math on it and it just doesn't add up. And most of the time it's always short, but there's a number of times where there is more than what is required to be put on a different truck. So the idea is he's at a distribution center.
Yeah.
Maybe a truck comes in from Columbus, Ohio or something, and then they got to unload that truck, and then they fill it with another truck that goes to Dallas, whatever the deal is.
Sure.
Right? Sometimes there's overages. So what they do at the end of the year is they have this huge party in the warehouse of all the overages. It would be the equivalent of like all the lost luggage at the airport.
So is it like an auction or is it a giveaway?
It is basically they put their names in a hat as far as the things that they want to get. You know what I mean? I think they're allowed to put their like 6, 7 names. But either way, everybody gets something. And so sometimes it's like a Samsung television. Other times it was Xboxes or whatever. It could be a dishwasher. I mean, whatever in the hell was over. At the end of the year, they throw this party. Like, you put your name in a hat, man, you want to get it. You got a chance.
We need to do that here.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I'll be like, look, I stole a bunch of things from my coworker's desk. And if you'd like to get it back, put your name in the hat. We'll shake it up. See if I can get that for you. Someone here says, when I used to work for Arco APM, the drink cooler did not have a camera pointing at the beer section. So I used to drink beer, of course. And then there's this one. Hi. I've had sex in the eye doctor exam chair while on the clock many times.
What? Are you the doctor?
Are you the doctor? At least tell me you clean that thing off.
This is not my eye doctor.
Or is it the hygienist?
Probably the hygienist.
Yeah, because
I always feel like there's attractive women working in the dentist's office.
Very hot hygienist, for sure. Usually hotter than the dentist themselves. I don't know why that is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my dentist is a dude.
Well, that could be part of it.
The nurse that checked me in today was, oh my goodness. Oh my God.
What was her name? Was it Rebecca? Was it Nancy?
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
If you see a girl in scrubs, it puts Miles in rut.
Yeah, it does. This morning just started off like, oh my God, really? You want to weigh me? Cool.
Cool, great.
Can I take off as many clothes as possible? I'm trying to get this weight down, you see.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to pop off my shoes. Make sure I take the watch off.
You mind holding this wallet, baby?
You're trying to be nonchalant, just take everything out of your pocket.
Exactly. Here's some change.
Yeah. $1.50 pound is really going to show this doctor I'm on it.
I've been listening.
Right.
Hello, Phil. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, fellas.
Hola.
So, back in college, I worked event staff at sporting events like football games, soccer games, baseball, and whatnot. But school at the time was a dry campus, except for baseball games. There was a beer cart for the season ticket holders. And so when you turned 21, you got the opportunity to work in the beer cart, and there'd be 2 people. So I took full advantage of that. There was 3 beers on tap. And coming into the game, by the time it was done, I'd go from 0 to 14 beers, and then I would clean up and have a very fun drunk walk home for 2 miles.
That's cool, man. What school were you at?
Cal Poly, down in California.
Okay. It seems like in our lifetime, as we've gotten older, there's beer now in Husky Stadium. There's beer at the basketball arena. That was not something that was there when I went to school.
It was banned.
You basically, that was kind of the origin of collegiate tailgating anyway. Was the fact
for
that,
sure.
And they'd let you out at halftime, so you could go drink more beer and then let you back in as far as the student section was concerned. So the idea of just having any kind of alcoholic beverage. And they used to have a bar in the student union, but you had to be 21 years old. And of course, no one wants to drink at school. They want to go and drink in a bar. But it was a really cool bar, and the beer was cheap as hell. So you couldn't avoid not going in there every once in a while because it was like 50-cent drafts on Friday.
If you told me
at the school, so like,
why wouldn't you want to drink? If it's right there and it's cheaper,
I'm saying
I'd have been the drunkest goddamn student in your entire
life. But
they got a bar.
In a mall court, there was a Taco Bell, there was a Sbarro, and there was some kind of another Mexican place, but I can't remember the name of it.
Well, dude, I think I told you my high school, DeMatha, a few years ago, we raised enough money and they could finally get the used car dealership lots.
Okay.
So DeMatha ends up buying them, and they build a field house.
Okay.
Right, named after Brendan Looney. But they put in an alumni bar. But the same thing, like it was very affordable prices. But the issue was that all the alumni like me, nobody was going out to watch the games.
Well, no, you just sat in the bar.
Everybody sat in there because they have like closed circuit TV. So finally, they were like, it opens before, at halftime, and post game. You got to watch the game, guys.
Well, if you've ever been in a suite or a box, all right, and I've done it a handful of times, and it's a great experience. It's like a first class. It's like a first class airline ticket. You can't believe you're in there.
And you've never paid for it yourself.
It's
have you ever been in a suite?
No.
You got to get an invite. I can't afford that.
Exactly. It's crazy expensive.
That's what you call.
And but you'll walk into the back, and there'll be obviously the Seahawks game will be on one television, but then they'll have another NFL game of the week on the other one, and people will be watching the other game, or people will be like making sandwiches and stuff, and like the Seahawks are at the 4-yard line,
right? And nobody knows.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they are on the 4-yard line. It's first down, like it's in the fourth quarter, and everybody's just like, it's kind of a
it's only down.
Beer, like,
people start talking, you know. But you're not facing the actual game.
And you realize, like, I think I've watched 40% of this game on this television.
Even though it's right behind me.
I am right on the 40-yard line. Like, all I got to do is look down. I'm watching this.
I just saw myself on TV. My back turned.
Mm-hmm. I mean, right. It's awesome, but it's very hard to concentrate on the game.
It's more of a party. It's like a party that you're throwing and you happen to be
the tailgate
at the sporting
inside of the game.
Right. That's it.
And it's catered. Legal or not, what's the best perk of any job you've ever had? 206-421.
Well, that's the problem with like the college stadiums that let you go out at halftime. It's hard to make it back in.
It's a bad idea. Mm-hmm. One of Ted's first big moment on the air in radio. All right. We are working at a sports station, and we're fighting to get airtime at this time, man. And so Ted's going to be our field reporter for the Maryland Terrapins football game. All right. And Ted, this was a big deal. I remember you were kind of nervous about it before you left.
Thursday night.
It's a huge deal. All right. So, Ted goes down there, whatever you needed to pull this off, probably just your phone, all that stuff. So now at halftime of the game, I believe it was, we're going to cut over to Ted and get an actual update from an eyewitness who's there. We click over there. We now go to Ted Smith, because I think it was just Ted Smith at the time, right? So go to Ted Smith. Hey, guys. Ted, are you drunk? Oh, I haven't even made it into the game yet. Jesus. This is a sports station. We're not doing a comedy show this time, man. I mean, it's just,
But what are you going to say anyway?
But what I said was, they said, do you know the score? And I said, I think Maryland's winning because I keep hearing the cannon go off. They fire that cannon when they score a touchdown.
That's fair enough.
Then at some point I went in, and then I had to harass a Maryland State trooper to be like, will you please get on the phone and just tell them I'm in here? And he was like, what? Like, to this day, I don't know if that cop really bought what I was selling him.
I don't know if he did, but yeah, we had to get a cop on there. Like, hey, they're like, yeah, dude, we understand. And yes, he works for us. That's
yeah. I didn't put the V on till we started buzzing stuff up.
You were so smashed. I mean, it's just not even that you had made it in the game, and not a little inebriated. Like, clearly hammered. I haven't made it in, man. We were tailgating. Again, this is the sport. This is the flagship station of the Baltimore Ravens. All right, I mean, this is like a professional operation, and there's Ted.
Mike,
your moment to shine.
Steve and I used to do. We had to do an NFL show from a place called Jillian's.
We did not want to do it
in between Baltimore and DC, right? So we had to do a 2-hour NFL show every Sunday morning.
Sounds like fun.
No, he had just bought an HD TV when they first were introduced. All right, so
we're gonna watch football on Sunday.
And the whole deal was every Sunday we're watching football on HD. Like, hell yeah!
So Steve and I would just roll in there completely baked. They sent in a top brass guy to stand over top of us so that we wouldn't drink, right? But we figured, like, what the hell, man? We're working on a Sunday shift. This is like, we've already done 5 hours of a show. This is 2 hours of NFL football, which is fine. But we made a deal with a guy who's the bartender that every time we ordered a Coke, it was going to be a Jack and Coke.
No, you?
And when I say it's a Jack and Coke, I mean it was a Jack with a splash of Coke in one of those big, tall Pizza Hut red plastic glasses. I mean, this is a monster drink.
By the way, because pig vomit, our personal pig vomit, the boss who's there to keep his eye on us, literally kept his eye on us. He was standing in front of us, arms folded, back to the crowd, just staring at us to make sure we don't consume alcohol. So we just sip on our Jack and Coke. He thought it was a Coke.
Yeah.
You guys want another Coke?
Time. So
yeah, I'll take another Coke.
The perk of that job, basically, if we had to do it, was we got hammered the entire time. And by the time the show ended, I mean, it was only 2 hours. We were absolutely trashed.
And they couldn't figure it out.
I filled in once and ordered a Coca-Cola, Mike. I had not been filled in on this little deal, right? So I'm nervous, right? Like, it's like, I forget that girl's name.
Maggie Litz.
Right, so it's me and Maggie, and then, and then our buddy Bill Rowland is in the studio. But I'm kind of nervous. I'm like, I'll take a Coca-Cola. Take a big pull off. It's like, on the docket today.
Respect you kept your composure, Ted.
And then the boss, and then the big boss.
Well, because again, even when I'm there, he's standing there looking. So I can't just like spit it out and be like, oh my God, these guys got whiskey in here. Because now they're sold out.
Actually, I think at the time, we were here for a job interview.
You were.
We were.
So, but the boss kept asking Ted, like, where are we?
Oh my God, that's the other thing.
He couldn't lie.
Where are they? And I'm a bad liar. So I think Miles is in West Virginia. And then I think Thrills in the Caribbean. I'm just terrible at lying. If you ask me directly, it's very hard to lie. So I was just like, I don't know.
So not only did we put him in a horrible position, but accidentally got him drunk.
Well, the worst part was trying to look at the waiter and be like, I would like a different, regular Coca-Cola and some snacks.
Legal or not, what's the best perk of any job you've ever had? 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.